Welcome to the Inspirational Corner with me, your host, Stylisha Bolton, as we encourage you here to live bold, live loud, and live authentically without apology. Welcome to another episode, everyone. And if this is your first time listening in, I encourage you to go to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all new episodes, or you can follow the podcast on Spotify and everywhere where podcasts are streaming and available. So, with that said, let's get into today's episode. Today, I'm talking about there's no competition. There is no competition when it comes to who you are and how you were created. No one is like you. No one can be like you. Yes, people may have the same talents as you or even the same ideas, but only you can execute that talent and idea in a unique way. We live in a very show and tell world in this social media age, and especially being oversaturated in technology, where we are shown things 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Information is so easy to be accessible to us. And I believe it's so important that we unplug at times, because the idea of not being enough, not doing enough, can sometimes really wreak havoc on our mental and emotional state, because we're constantly comparing ourselves and feeling like we got to compete with somebody else. Especially as women, we have been brainwashed to believe we need to compete with another woman, instead of uplifting or collaborating with another woman when it comes to our beauty standards and our body image and everything in between. And when I thought about this topic, I thought about Snow White, the Disney movie Snow White. And, within the movie, the evil queen was at the mirror and she said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And so the mirror, if you remember, did not answer back to her the way she wanted. The mirror said, "Well, it's not you." Basically, it's someone else. There's another fairest maiden within the village, which was Snow White. So, that was not the answer that the evil queen wanted. And so from that moment on, there was a mindset of comparison, or really competition, because she really wanted to get rid of Snow White because she wanted to be the fairest queen within the village. So, with that said, I feel like even today, taking that Disney movie and putting it in real life, we go through a period in time in our lives where we're, comparing ourselves to someone else, or comparing our life, or feeling that we're not doing enough. We got to do more. We're not successful enough. And I know for me, I'm sure I'm not the only one that have felt that way, or felt the sting of jealousy towards someone. And in reality, you don't know what someone else had to go through in order to maintain what they have, or if what they're showing on social media is actually their real life. So when you think about that, it really gives you like an aha moment to kind of step back and assess your life. And one thing I think within the last years for me, I have learned to understand, if I am not happy in an area of my life and I'm feeling like I'm comparing myself, and I'm like, okay, if I'm comparing myself to this person and what I'm seeing in their highlight reel of their life on social media, through Instagram or TV or whatever form, or even in real life, then what do I need to change in my life to really become focused and get that tunnel vision on my life and start to create a life that I love and eliminate the things that I really don't desire anymore in my life. And I feel that's really important. And so when I think about this and how we allow social media to magnify someone's life, and not saying social media is bad, I just think for me, I have to unplug from it, a lot. And as I'm getting older, I don't really care anymore about looking at other people's life, because I believe, for me, I want to live in the real time. I want to focus on how I'm moving forward in my life, what I'm producing in my own personal life. To me, that's more important to me at this point in my life. So I just wonder why we allow any facet of life, whether it's TV, whether it's social media, whether it's just even in real life, us comparing ourselves, and why we are playing in this game of comparison. Because when you play in the game of comparison, you are not going to win. Like I said, your mental and emotional health is going to be affected in more ways than one. And when you think about it, you have to ask yourself, why am I giving social media people or society or whoever so much power over my life, and allowing society to tell me what my life should look like? I'm a big advocate here, at the Inspirational Corner. I always say, the whole theme and whole slogan is about living bold, living loud, and living authentically without apology. And in order to do that, you have to take control of your own life and start really getting to the root of the things that you need to heal from, really start facing those things and moving forward, and start building and reestablishing some things in your life to make your life happy and work for you. And I feel like the idea or the concept of competing is great when it comes to sports, but it can really get messy and chaotic when you're trying to do it, in real life, when you're trying to use this concept of competition and comparison in real life. So in reality, nobody life is perfect. My life is not perfect. None of our life is perfect, because I think about it like this. Who would want to live a perfect life? To me, if my life was perfect, it would be pretty boring, because there would be no room for life to happen, and there to be some serendipitous moments, and for there to be some moments of adventure. And true enough, life can be hard and rough and ugly, but at the same time, out of the rough and ugly things that I've been through in my life, there has been moments of beauty, moments of joy, and lessons that I have learned. And I woke up recently this week. When I woke up in the morning, I said, I love my life. In spite of everything that I've been through, in spite of the ups and downs, I love my life, and I wouldn't trade in my unconventional life for nothing in this world, because I'm creating a life that I want to look at in my own mental movie reel, and say, wow, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe this happened, because I am putting myself in a place of reassessing the things that I want to change, instead of running away from my life. So I have been in situations. I remember a time in my life, and a period in my life, when I was just numbing out. And I was numbing out by pretty much trying to be everybody's life coach, counselor, advisor. And true enough, other people were benefiting from my advice, and me allowing other people to just to dump on me with their issues and problems. They were benefiting from that, but I wasn't thriving. They was thriving, but in the end, mentally, emotionally, I felt used and depleted. But I can't blame it on the people that no longer in my life. And even now, I have learned to set boundaries with the people that are in my life. And I don't really have I'll keep my circle very small. The older I get, the smaller and smaller I choose to allow my circle to be, because I'm just all about a life of peace, and just no nonsense, no drama, no chaos. And I enjoy it that way. And now I'm to a place where now my phone don't even ring if it's not my family, or if my daughter is usually here, or if she's out. If it's not her and my family up north, then my phone don't ring. And years and years ago, I could say a decade ago, my phone used to ring. It was always people calling me, because it was just drama. It was just drama, and I'm trying to fix everybody's life but my own. But my own life was falling apart. And if you think about it, I always pronounce her name wrong, but Ayanla Van Zandt, she gets paid to fix people's life. I wasn't. And even with her, this is her career, her journey, and her path in life. But recently she said she wasn't going to do her show anymore because it after a while it creates so much emotional stress and turmoil on her mental and emotional health as well, because it becomes too much, because you're carrying other people's pain and baggage. And I know for me, I'm a very empathetic person. So I have learned, because I'm a very empathetic person, I have to be careful to be mindful of what I'm listening to, what people talking to me about, because I'm the type of person, I'm like, I want to help. I want to give advice. I want to counsel. That's just in my heart. And it's not that they ask me. It's just, I always want other people to do better. And I just want the best for everybody. But I had to get to a point where I had to stop doing that. And I always tell the friends I do have at this moment, you know what? I'm not saying, don't vent, but I'm to a point where I don't want to hear it. And it may sound bad, but I'm just going to be honest. I don't want to hear other people's business or other people's problems, because then I'm dealing with my own stuff, and then I'm taking on their stuff too. So I always, tell a friend, they know how I am spiritually. So I always say, well, I pray for you, but I don't need to know what's going on. I will pray for you. You know what I'm saying? And if they want me to pray with them, I will, because I feel like that's the best thing I can do. But me actually knowing their business and what's going on, I don't anymore. And that's how I set my boundary. And I had to realize my boundary is for me to have a peace of mind, and also to, if I want to keep, those people in my life, is to give them that boundary set, so they'll know where I'm coming from, and so they'll know that there's no hidden agenda, so they won't have a hidden agenda. And it has brought me so much peace. Really minding my own business has given me so much peace. And it has stopped me from enabling toxic cycles in my life, and just me being toxic. We don't talk about our own toxic behaviors and ways. And so I had to realize I don't need to compete. I don't need to compare. And if I'm not knowing your business or looking at your life, I won't have a need to compare, because I'm so focused on my own business and so focused on trying to better my life and trying to expand and become the best version of myself. I won't have time to even focus or look at someone else's life. And that's where I'm at right now. I feel like you can love people from a distance. And you hear that term and phrase, and I think it's so true. You can truly set boundaries, let go of toxic behaviors and patterns, and still love people from a distance, and understand that your peace of mind, the life that you desire to live, is very important. And so I think incorporating that mindset will help you flow into a better life. When it comes to looking at social media, you could kind of say, wow, okay, I'm scrolling too much, and just catch yourself. I know for me, I have a lot of inspirational things, because I like to keep a lot of inspiration around me. I don't like to have a lot of mentally, emotionally, what I'm listening to, what I'm watching, to keep my energy, my spirit, vibration, whatever you want to say, high. I need to listen to things, watch things, and hear things that's good for my soul and inner man, so I can maintain a high value within myself. And comparing myself to somebody else won't help me. So I truly want to give you a couple ways on how you can just really let go of the idea of comparison, and stop this cycle of competition with whoever and whatever, especially, with strangers you don't even know, so you can become the greatest and best version of yourself. So, my number one way for you to just let go of comparison and start competing with yourself so you can become the better version and the best version for yourself is mind your own business. And I have said that a lot, and I say it a lot. I even have a podcast episode on discussing the concept of minding your own business and the journey that I went through. So minding your own business will give you a peace of mind. When you feel the need to always give advice or have, like I said, we live in this world where everybody has an opinion. We in this culture, the cancel culture, people, the cancel culture got something to say and have a platform to cancel people and have so much power. We live in the age where everybody has power with a push of a button and creating a social media presence, which is kind of crazy. If it's used in the right way, it's good, but in the way, there's a negative and a positive to everything. And so we have this cancel culture where people feel like they can say or do anything to anybody and feel like other people are not human. Even celebrities. I'm so grateful that I'm not well known and that I'm not a celebrity. I'm just grateful for that, because what they go through, it's a lot, and we have to, I feel like, have a respect for people. And just because a person is a celebrity or a public quote unquote figure, or, even well known, person in business, that doesn't give anybody a right to just give them advice, voice their opinion, especially if it's negative, whether it's positive or negative. I just think that voicing your opinion or thinking you always have to have something to say to somebody can be overrated. So minding your own business, I believe, is the best thing to do. And so my question would be for me to ask myself, and a question that you could ask yourself: if somebody is just talking to you and you want to give them advice or give them an opinion, just think about it. Did the person ask for my opinion? And most of the time, for me, the point where I'm at in my life, I have evolved so much in my life to the point where I tell people, even if they ask for my advice, my daughter be like, yeah, she says she get mad at me because I never give her advice. And I say, I give you advice in a different way. I always ask her, how do you feel within? What's best for you? And I tell her, if I give you my advice, I'm going to give you my advice from my perspective, what I've been through. And your journey is going to be your journey. So I could give you my version from my life, but your journey going to be your journey. And maybe pieces of what I'm saying may help you. And I know it's different with your children, or with your, with my daughter, because she's a young adult, but I'm just careful about giving advice. I don't like to. I'm not a therapist. Like I said, I'm not licensed in that. So I just choose not to. With friends, I'm like, if you over 18, to me, if you over 21, especially if you in your 30s and 40s, you grown. And so I'm not up here trying to, give you advice if that's not what you're asking for. And even then, if you're asking for it, I'm kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I'm more of an inspirational person, so I try to inspire you in a way. But I think minding your own business is the most important thing. It has given me a lot of peace, because I used to always feel like I needed to run my mouth or give somebody my opinion or always have something to say. And I'm learning. The best thing is to shut my mouth and mind my own business. Number 2, find ways to improve your life. And I think this is very important. True enough, like I said before, it is tempting to scroll on social media, watch TV, judge other people, especially, we judge celebrities and what they should be doing with their life, and judging strangers we don't even know, that don't even know us and don't really care about us, to be honest. But what are we doing to improve our own life? Because when we judge other people, that's a reflection of our own insecurities and some things that we need to change within ourselves. Because if you're judging somebody else is basically an indication of you desiring something they have in their life. And I know I've been there. Like I said, as a writer, I don't want to follow other authors because I don't want to compare my journey with their journey. I know maybe a couple of years ago, I used to follow an author and she was always posting how people buying her book. And I'm like, I'm sitting over here like nobody buying my stuff. And then I'm realizing I had to ask myself a question like, what are you doing to promote your book? And where are you at in your journey right now? What's more important right now? So let me focus on my own life and my own business. So those are the questions I ask myself, those hard questions, because it put everything in perspective for me. So find ways to improve your life. If there's something that you don't enjoy in your life, there are so many ways to improve it. And I also have, a podcast episode, discussing creating the life you love. You have to check it out. It's really good. And also too, you can go to my blog and get the read only version of each podcast episode, and it'll give you more information on my blog. I put more information on there, so you could click on the links and look at quotes that I have to keep you motivated and encouraged. And every time I do a podcast episode, it'll really resonate in your heart and soul. And the last one, everyone, number 3, more focus, less distractions. And I kind of really already covered this a little bit. Like I said, if we're trying to constantly escape our life and the unpleasant things in our life because we don't want to face reality, that's not a good thing. We have to realize that when we are scrolling or looking at other people's life and everything that I was talking about earlier, is that's a temporary mindless distraction, because we're trying to numb out from a life that we don't like. And we have to learn to meet each situation in our life with grace and love, and knowing that everything that we go through, good or bad, the things that we deal with, is a temporary moment. But giving yourself that grace and love and focusing on how to create a life, like I said before, constantly said throughout this episode, because I think it's important. When you start creating a life you love, I'm telling you, things happen. And the reason I talk about this so much is because I am doing it. I've been doing it in the last maybe couple years, and especially in the last, I could say maybe in the last 2 to 3 years, I've really been focusing on allowing people to be who they are and releasing people to be who they are without apology, but also knowing that I don't have to participate, I don't have to engage, and I don't have to allow people in my hemisphere or atmosphere. Like I said, I can love you still from a distance with love and respect without having to be in your company. And I think that's important, because when you start to engage in your own life, you're showing appreciation. And to me, in the spiritual aspect, you're showing a godly appreciation for your life, because God has created us all uniquely and different. And so when you are really taking the time to say, okay, I don't appreciate this in my life, or I don't like this and I want to change this in my life, and you start creating strategies. And I'm a very solution oriented person. I know there's going to always be problems, but I need to create solutions on for things to get better. And I think when you do that, it helps things in your life flow a little better. Remember, it's not going to be perfect, but progression and moving forward is an option. And I know for me, that is especially what I'm going through in my life. Knowing that where I'm currently living is not where I want to be. So I had to get really raw and real with myself and say, well, how can I progress and know what can I do and what can me and my daughter change in order for me to get to where I want to be and to move forward. And I was talking to a friend recently, and And I was just saying I'm starting from scratch. And she was like, no, you're not starting from scratch. You moving forward. And I told her, thank you for clarifying that for me, because that's the right thing to say. She said, you are not going to make the same choices that you made before moving forward and leaving the place that you're at, because you have more knowledge, you have more wisdom, and you have learned the lessons from the past. And I was like, you know what, you're exactly right. So when we focus more and let go of the distractions, we can truly hound in on what we really want in our life. And I just think those three things are key: minding your own business, finding ways to improve your life, and more focus and less distractions. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode, because as always, I'm always enjoying every podcast episode to share with you my thoughts and my ideas from my own personal experiences. To me, that's what it's all about. Everything that I go through is truly a way to inspire and encourage you to be the best version of yourself and to live a life that you are proud of, and to enjoy life and live life on your own terms. That's what I'm truly all about as a person. So, here at the Inspirational Corner, we always encourage you to live bold, live loud, and live authentically without apology. Until the next episode, everyone, have a beautiful week.